It's Monday and sunny skies were with us earlier today, but Friday was a little bit rainy. So Terry, talk about that a little bit.
Well, absolutely it was, and it's we talked about, as a hurricane, you can see what those Florida coast states are, and they get, and certainly we're used to the tornadoes where you really can be as prepared as only you can, and then they come. This is such an unusual event where you get a tropical storm in Indiana that carried this heavy, wet weather pattern, and it was relentless. Some of the estimates go anywhere from 5 to 7 inches in a 12-hour period. That itself is pretty close to what's considered a 100-year event. That is from National Weather Service, Federal Emergency Management, engineering firms, insurance firms. They rate storm events, and we certainly are probably right there. What that means is, while those 100-year events can occur more regularly than 100 years, it's the equivalent thereof. And it gets a little bit beyond where I think about as mayor. I think ultimately, though, we have, you can only prepare so much, and you watch this rain come. We build our stormwater systems to be able to handle 25-year events, occasionally a 50-year event, depending on the circumstances, and the 100 and 500-year events are just rather anomalies we hope we never see. Ultimately, though, we had extraordinary response, and I want to thank our street department, our police department, our wastewater departments, as well as the fire department, who were on standby, and Chief Hoaxang was out and about for that role they played. So many people were gone at the baseball game, and a lot of people were very concerned about their properties. People have reported seeing things they've never seen before because of that much rain, and that likely may very well be true, and we hope we never see it again. But literally, it was to be able to where we are today, it's just something, and again, I think thanks goes out to from my perspective as mayor, to those city staff who did work above and beyond the call of duty, but came in an emergency basis. And the other thing I'll remind folks, be aware of, we're still in a very unstable weather pattern, some more rain coming down likely, and we also know that Patoka Reservoir, while it certainly is holding its own, went up 1.5 feet with this recent event, and certainly the river in the 19 miles from the reservoir to Jasper is up as well. The Ruxer Golf Course is again flooded, has 3 holes that are kind of underwater, and we try to watch that on a recreational basis, but ultimately we're almost back to late winter, early spring flooding conditions with some unstable patterns. So be aware of that. Sometimes there's less places for the water to go, even if the inlets are clean in the street. And we want to always make sure have people do not go into any high water areas. Currently, as the time of this taping, 2nd Street is closed in Jasper near the IGA, but you can get to the IGA and all the businesses, and then also Clay Street is closed along the river.
Let's move to Monday and happier times, and America's Best Communities. You guys are putting together your pitch. I think you're going to have a little presentation that goes with it.
We are. We're actually going to be working with media and talking to them, not so much as just doing news stories, but to look at how you can best partner with us, and we're glad to have that conversation, Bradford, with those folks affiliated with Du Bois County Broadcasting, and we're glad to have those your bosses on board with us too, as well as other media. We have a very unique opportunity. This is a contest, and it's a contest where really the city of Jasper could win $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, and some cash along the way. We've already won $50,000. We have to come up with a $15,000 match, and we have a finance group working on that. We've had some private citizens contribute money to that. We're probably going to be ready to announce a match of some sort from another funding source, like a 1 for 2 match. If we have $1 and you put in $2, then we can come up with the 15, and ultimately we've got about a month to get that raised, and we have no doubt that we will. But this is a very unique contest. We're one of 11 communities out of 50 total around the country. 11 of them are in Indiana. So we've got some pretty stiff competition because we know some of these communities, let alone the 39 of those that are outside of Indiana. We need to make sure and get our message out, and over the next week or two, we're going to be doing that with the people. We literally are looking at things as simple as, here's my $1, and to get that match raised. But ultimately, we have learned a couple of things. We have been named as one of the host sites for a celebratory dinner by Frontier Communications. They are the people that developed the America's Best Communities contest, and the new CEO, Dave McCarthy, with Frontier, is going to be joining us for this event. He'll be coming in July. So we're pretty excited about that. We have, to have the CEO of a nationwide company come join us, someone who's new in the position, choose Jasper out of all the communities to step foot in and be a part of that. We like that. So be listening. Look on social media for America's Best Communities, ABC Team Jasper, and then hashtag all caps ABC50.
Okay. So now with that pitch, what are you guys trying to present? What's your overall message if you had to describe it?
Basically, our message is the contest is built in economic development. We are going to go off the extraordinary planning that's already been done in our downtown and riverfront. That's our focus. To build upon that, should we win that grand award or any of those at that level, we're going to be again implementing things with those monies back into our downtown and riverfront. So we're ahead of the game in some communities as far as our focus and our plan. We're a little bit behind in having people under some of the resources like social media, videos, and photographs and things like that. We generally don't have an inventory of those. We've not really produced a lot of that within our city. So that's some of the things that we can do with some of our money. Our money is essentially that $65,000 is meant to really invest in the next step, not necessarily to be invested in only just the planning process or a project. But we may have a project that could enhance the downtown. We could put some dollars to, and we're going to do a little checking on that.
And in a year of anniversaries in Jasper, we got this here, Jasper Arts. 40th anniversary this year. They just announced the schedule last week.
That is correct. Not only is the schedule for our performing arts season essential, and really an outstanding one. We also have a 40th anniversary celebration of the arts coming up September 26th. It's going to be held at the museum. But we have among people attending this year a special Patsy Cline show that is just going to be a wonderful show. The music of Patsy Cline is timeless. For those of you that may or may not know, you probably have hummed or sung the songs without ever knowing that. We also bring in the Women of Ireland, again, that Celtic type performance. And then we have Vince Gill, who's coming in with the Time Travelers, a portion of the famous Riders in the Sky. They'll be performing a special show too this fall. So we have essentially budgeted for a 40th anniversary celebration through our performing arts season. Tickets are available right now. You can call for information at 482-3070, or certainly you can go online and learn more about that as well. I would suggest you get tickets early and go to all the series. I'm fascinated always by the performer series, which is more or less the names you may have heard of or the acts you want to see, but I get just as much enjoyment out of the backstage series, where it's just 150 people behind the scenes watching a performer that is literally as close as you and I are perform. So get the whole season ticket package and take your kids to some of the kids shows and make a great year out of celebrating the arts.
All right. Well, thank you very much once again, Mayor. That's been Monday with the Mayor. We'll be back after this.